Hello my friends, it's me Paul, and I am pleased to welcome you on the last video update about the Gene 2.3 development. It took a whole year to get to this point and the day has just come. It's 23rd of December 2022, just one day before Christmas, and as I promised, I finished my work and I am done. And this date and the next year 2023 will be in the name of new update 2.3. Today I will talk about two things. One is important as the other, so it's good to stay tuned all the time that you get everything right. At first I will talk about new and last function which is now part of the Gene, and it's called Keeper. So let's just dive in. Let's see how this works. So if we look to the Gene right here, I prepared in advanced generation. You can see here in the mouse pointer, here is the Keeper, and the Keeper is provided by the whole elements right here. We have Keeper auto, then has selections and other selections right here. I explained them during the use, and you will see how this will be useful for you. So I will continue the generation, and now it's the generation is running, and so I just printed the one result to make everything faster today, because I will show more combinations and variations which you can use, because there are many options with the Keeper. So when I end it, now you can see it is disabled and frozen, and you cannot do anything with these objects here. And when I ended the generation, now it became enabled, so you can click on it. And first of all, you have to realize that you cannot do two things together. It means if you use transfer to transfer the things, you cannot use the Keeper, and vice versa. So if I use the Keeper, I cannot use the transfer, because this is then disabled. So if we just do the transfer, it's like normal and like I presented on the last video. So I can continue. Now it's frozen again, so you cannot use it at all. And then I will finish this. And the reason, or the let's say the main purpose, is to keep the latest numbers you have in the generation, and to make all the work for the next generation much simpler than it was until now, or it was before. So let's say we have drawn some numbers, and I'll just for information I will fill in the column F, that let's say imagine that these are new numbers which were drawn, and I'm checking my result with them, so I can use the compare right here. Now I have all the matches because I just copied these numbers here. And what I want to do is to make a new generation for the next drawing day. So then in this case, the best thing right now is to use the Keeper. And so what I will do is just select the Keeper. Then I can use the auto function, and it is very useful, because if you use this, then it will adjust the length of the input box in the desired value. At this moment, what I want, as I have a new drawing day right here, I want to keep all the history. So the history is extended +1. It means that I like to have 4 previous drawing days. And if I cross the auto, then this will be counted correctly, and this the count of previous lots will be adjusted, so you will see that. And now I can decide, and it is adjusted based on what I will select right here. There are 3 options, and this is the P, then F and C. If you look here, the P means past, then the F is like the future, is just this one column, and the P, or let's say the C, is the like new comparisons, it means in the input box. And so based on that you can select the length you want to preserve for the next generation. In this case, in most cases, it will be most frequent that you will use this F, so I will use this one right here. Then what I can do, and I did not just fill it in, but I can still do it right here, and I can use a twister. So we had applied the twister right here, so we have the filter and twister as well. And I can decide if I can also store and keep the filter, the Fi, and the twister right here, so I can also check it here. And then what I can fill it are the offsets. The first offset is imagine that you don't have filled in these numbers, but you want to have the last empty, so I will show it in the next turn. And then final offset is if you decide to keep the comparisons like here, then you might decide if you want to keep the whole many numbers, or you might end it maybe just in the first predictions, so then you want to only take just this one, or if you not the complete, then you can put here the in this case, if I want to take also the C1 only, if I will not place there anything, that it will take the whole input here if I cross this, but if the C, but if I put there number 1 for instance, then it will take just this one row. But now I will not use it at this moment, and let's see, let's keep the F. So we will take over the filter, twister, and then the past with these with the future combo box. And as the auto works, you just will notice that it will now change. Just you can focus on it. So all is cleared, and you can do everything like you are making completely new generation with even a different lottery, different generator, or different rating method. It doesn't matter what you do. And you can see we had 3 previous draws, now we have 4, and I will now stay with this lottery. I can even change it, the settings of the lottery, everything, but now make the life easy for now. So I make the settings, and now it's making again these input and output boxes, and we will a little bit wait when it's drawn here. So the important thing is that the auto works good, and the advantage is that you don't need to count how many new draws or previous slots you will need. And you will see that we have these 4 columns, and now they are all in pass, so the gene is ready to generate. And you can also see that the twister is kept, and the filter is also kept. There is a little bit different behavior, because when we extend the path, then the filter is related to the end of the box. So when I extend it more, then I am in fact moving it to the front. So then it's up to you if you fill the rest or not, because we are mainly focused on the settings at the end if we want to bend up the wave or somehow change the direction. So now I will start it again, and it's running, so everything is perfect. When I end it, I can do again the keeper. So I'll cross the keeper, and now I can exclude the filter and twister. And what I like to do is, for example, it's not filled in and I want to extend it one more, so I will keep the past. So I'm taking only the past, and then I like to make an offset. If I put 1, I will have here 5 previous draws and 1 will be empty, which I can fill in with the new numbers. I can put there even bigger number, 2 or 10, whatever. It depends how many new drawing days you need to add into the past output box. So let's have it. I just stayed with the auto. It means it will change again to number 5. So now you see it's extended to number 5, and I click the settings right here. So we have the past is long with 5, and we will also see how these numbers are placed. So they are always placed as the last parameters or values or data into this input box. And it doesn't matter if you change these coordinates here, you don't need to be afraid of it. So it will always place it into the right position. It was not so easy to code it, but I finally figured it out, and it took a few hours here. So now we have the kept last 4 drawing days, and we can just fill in the new one and start the generation. I'll make it for now a little bit easier, that we can present how this works further. And I started, and this is how the offset works, and I will show now the second offset how this works. So I'll end it, and let's say that I filled in also the rest with new drawn numbers, that I use them for future and prediction comparisons, like that. And now I will do 2 things. I again cross the keeper, I will keep the auto, then I will take everything. It means also with the comparison, so it will take the whole. If I will not set anything here, I'll keep the 0, then this one will be completely taken over, and will be that. And but I will put here just number 1. So I let's say that these numbers are still missing, and I want to have new generation. So this I did not need to delete them, but I just representing some real situation. So that's it. I'm taking just 1 from here. You can also notice that when it was not these options activated, the filter and twister, then you see for the new generation is completely empty here. So let's continue and see how this works. And it was extended to number 8, and I'll place these settings. I just forgot to delete the first offset, so we will get the previous draws plus the future and also the one from the prediction, and there will be gap to fill in other numbers. To this one I shall put to 0, but you can imagine that we now got 7 plus 1 is the gap, so these numbers will be right here. Yeah, so it's now completely filled in, and I can just fill a new drawing, which will be in fact different right here. Okay, so I'll start this, and as I mentioned, you can also change the lottery. For example, you can play the lottery with a bonus ball or with some special other balls or without them, and I will just present it in another example. So let's take, I will just decide to keep the numbers, so I'll place only the prediction area or the past area, I mean, and I will not put there any sets here, just keeper, and that's it. So the scenario will be the same like we have seen earlier, but what I can change is, for example, I can change everything right here. I will make even a different lottery with different numbers, and you can also, if I use the auto, it kept the 8, but I can make it even smaller, let's say 7, so I will lose the last the drawing day, not the last, but the oldest one, let's say. So let's see what will happen right now. We will have 7 drawing days in past, and we have different lottery, but we are using the numbers from Eurojackpot to Powerball, which doesn't make so much sense. But if you have very similar lotteries, like with a bonus ball and without a bonus ball, you can simply change it, and you can get a space for the bonus balls, or you can even lose these bonus balls. And you see that it was also it changed, so we have just 5 numbers and only one number, one drawn number in the second draw, because the jackpot has two balls and it is only one. And I can start it. So you don't really need to be afraid that something happen. If this lottery or the output box will be bigger, or the input box bigger, then there will be empty spaces which you have to fill in with numbers. And if this field of numbers is bigger than the printed input box, then it will be cutted. And I will just this example, we cutted these numbers which are not here, and in the second example I will show how these numbers will be, let's say it will be bigger, it will be extended. So I will keep it like it is, and I will try to make a different lottery. I can go back to Eurojackpot and just see what happens. We have 2 draws, and the second is with 2 drawing balls. it is bigger, and you will see that one area will be empty there. And furthermore, and maybe I can show it as the last example, you can use it with lottery if you have lottery with 2 drawing machine, and you can also use it for 1 drawing machine. So that will be the last example. I think interesting to see and how this works. So now you see we actually took the numbers from the Powerball, and now we are already missing the second balls because they were not stored as during the transformation to the Powerball. And now there will be the last example, and I'll again take the keeper right here if I can. Yeah, I cannot because I did not. I don't know if I. Yeah, so now I lost everything. Okay, so let's make it. I will just put there some fake numbers and show the last example. The thing is, when you are not running anything, then it's not considered as a standard generation, so then you can lose it. But if it happens, you can always close the file and open it again, and you have your numbers back. So when this happens, do not save the file, just close it and open it again. And I will place here just these numbers to make it quick. And I will start it. So it's running, we are getting the wave. Maybe I can check if all. Yes, so I have shown these offsets, how this twister and filter is saved, and also the other scenarios. If you will not use auto, or if you use it, you have still, after that you have still chance to change it here. So it's just a support function, but it's not really strongly placed. So you can, I will just show the final example with lottery with 1 drawing day. I'll check here the keeper. Maybe I might just make offset 1, and we get the auto. It means we will get value 8, and here it is, we have value 8. But you can change your mind right here, and I will just say that I need only 3, and I will also change the lottery to fantasy 5 and make the settings, and now you see what happens. The good thing that this tool is very flexible and robust, so you really do not need to be afraid that something wrong will happen, and if so, then just close the file and open it again. So yeah, you see I got the offset, and then there are the last drawing days. So we have here, without this offset will be completely filled, and it's just preserved only these first drawing numbers from this first drawing machine. And that's it. I think you found this during this presentation, how useful it is, and that you can really play with this, and it will save a lot of your time. That For the new generation, you will just need to add the new drawing day, and if you use in a good way the comparisons that you are filling it here already, then it's just a question of 2 clicks, and you can, after the last generation, you can start again, and you not be the bored and bothered by this new settings. So that's one of the tools I like myself, because it then is also easier for me to do it again, and not to give up and just to continue. So it will be, with all these tools right here, it will be much more comfortable and useful for you, and a lot of fun, and a lot of many ways how to make these generations. And I'm really curious, like, you will play with this and how you will be friendly with that new Gene 2.3. And I plan during this next year to prepare some strategies and some things that you can apply here, and you can test it in your own generation. So that was the first part of this video. And the second, and you might think what it is related to the thing and to my promise that I said, and that it's my work is done and it's finished. So let's now talk about the Gene 2.3. It means the Gene 2.3 is ready, everything is done. There will not be any new functions, because the Gene 2.3 is really complete, and it's there are more stuff than it was planned, and I'm really glad and happy to give it to you. So just I will summarize what is inside of this Gene 2.3, because not everyone was following all these videos, and even I do not remember everything during the whole year. So let's have it on one page here. So first I did this compare extension, so you can make this comparison as long as you have along the predictions, and you can have outputs from these comparisons. The second is that there is the double filter, the lower one we had before, and now we have the upper one. Then there is the crazy twister. I think that is one of the best and craziest things you can test, and you can play with this, and I'm really curious what the results from using this crazy twister will be on your side. So as we have this Wave Hunters group, I like you to present your results and your experience here. Then there is the chaos and other options. It means that you have the opportunity to decide if the drawn numbers will be compared also with the order, that the order will matter in which position the new number was drawn. So that can be now applied, and you can decide how much order and chaos will be part in the evaluation. Then fifth is the sorter, and the sorter I presented on the last video or the previous one, and it's about if you have more outputs, for instance 10, and these 10s are the best one from the whole generation. And what you can do with the sorter, it is part of the comparison function. You can get most frequent numbers in these outputs, and you can set up your combo box with numbers which you can use on the winning ticket. And this is the other strategy, except the twister you can try to play with, and I will do the same. Then we have here the transfer with reset. I presented it also in some of the previous videos, on the last I think, and this sort of was the previous one. And the reset, it's about that if you end up your generation and you want to change something or start over again because you don't like something here, then you can just transfer it and reset it. And it's as I mentioned in this video, it's not really the beginning like I presented today with the keeper, and you cannot use these both things together, the transfer and keeper. And now finally, as I comprehensively presented, we have the keeper, one of these user-friendly functions I will love by myself. So that's what is new part of the Gene 2.3. And yesterday it took me a few hours. I reviewed all the lotteries on the list in the Gene, and I have to say that I was quite surprised that during a few years many of these lotteries were changed just slightly, but for example the number of balls or drawing days were changed. So now it's reviewed and completely updated, and you can use it without any problem. So this is the content of the Gene 2.3. Then there is the coding, and I just for curiosity I will show how this went from the Gene 2.0, the first one. So we had about 4,000 codes of lines, and then from the Gene 2.2 to 2.3 it extended. There is more than 603 lines of the complete code and more than 81 lines compared with this Gene 2.2. So you see there was a lot of things included, but in the same time the speed of Gene is kept the same, so it wasn't reduced. Even when I made this comparison, it's a little bit slightly better because I make some optimization inside of the core code. So that's about the coding. And finally, here it is. As I said, the Gene is ready and finished, and I will call it now for you, my friends. It will be early access, and for several reasons, because now it's brand new, it's ready. And the first thing is that it will be without the printed user guide, I mean the PDF. Don't worry, this PDF I will do it just during days after between Christmas and New Year, and then during the January. So that will I will send it to you when it's ready. And but I didn't want to, let's say, want you to wait also for the user guide, because there are some materials you can use and you can learn by yourself as you are used to use, for example, Gene 2.2. Then there is no quick start video. It means just using 2.3 can be quite tricky for you, but you can use, and I will recommend it right here, you can use this Gene 2.2 quick start video tutorial. And also there are no new tutorials at this moment, so the quick start video and new tutorials will come during upcoming weeks. I will add them one by one. I will start with the most important, which is the quick start, and the second will be the deep walkthrough where I will go through the complete Gene 2.3. But I don't want you to wait for it, and I think you'll be clever enough to use it with things that are available already today. And as I mentioned, the first thing to activate it and to have it is to use and follow the 2.2 quick start video tutorial. So you can activate it, you can make some basic generation, and that will work anyway. And then the second thing, as I did all these research and development videos where I am describing all the functions, then these videos will now be for you tutorials which you can use to see how each function to use, how to set up, and how this works. So this is the second way how to get around and make it work in this early access. And also other reason, as it's not finished and I want to grant it to you, my friends and wave hunters, as a priority. So I do not plan at this moment to put it on eBay. So now it will be mainly for you, and that you have the first chance to use it as a friend, as a long-term user. And so there is only two ways, and one I prefer and recommend is to become my patron on Patreon. The link is in the description, and to give some month contributions, or you can buy it via PayPal. And so on the Patreon there is already a tier for $3 per month, and you need to do it at least 1 year. And the second way is just through the PayPal, the direct payment and the cost. And as you see, all the content and so on is now $38. You can also already choose the golden edition in the Patreon for $11 per month, and via PayPal is $299. So that's how you can get the gene to your hands. And as we have just 1 day before Christmas, and I spent a lot of time to get it ready, to make this video, to provide all these informations to you, and I like to kindly ask you for your patience. The gene is ready, it is for you right here, but you know I like to have also some free time for myself. So if you send your order or payment to PayPal or become my Patreon, I just want to kindly ask you to little bit wait before I will prepare the package for you and send it to you. And it can take a few days, maybe 1 week or a little bit more. And I also need to have some Christmas and not to be overwhelmed with all many orders, so I think you understand that. But the good thing, if you waited 1 year, then to wait just a few days is now nothing, I would say. So that's it. So I am at the end, and the day D is right here, 23rd of December 2022. I wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I really will be glad and looking forward to your experience with New Gene 2.3. And as I said, I'm always available to help you, to provide some guidance. And these days I will little bit rest after all this hard work, and I wish to all of you really happy and calm Merry Christmas and Happy New Year with using this Gene 2.3, so we all will be ready to kill and crack all the lotteries of the world. So all the best and have a great time, and goodbye.